Boundaries. Ugh, automatic cringe. Does the thought alone scare you, even hearing the word? Ugh. If you want to break boundaries down so they no longer scare you, this episode is for you. Welcome to Create Your Fate, where we retrain old self-limiting beliefs into a positive mindset. If you don't know me, I'm life coach Meg Ellis, here to guide you to stop thinking about what you don't want and instead focus on what you do want so you can actually create the life that you want. So today we're going to bring consciousness to the 3 reasons why you might fear boundaries. Only after becoming aware of why you fear your boundaries can you learn how to set healthy boundaries instead. Okay, boundaries. Why are they scary? Here are the 3 reasons why you might be struggling with boundaries. Reason 1, fear of conflict and rejection. Do you fear conflict and rejection? You might worry that setting limits might lead to strained relationships or even losing the approval of others. So as a result, you compromise your own desires and necessities, leading to resentment and emotional exhaustion. Reason 2, guilt and people-pleasing tendencies. Are you a people pleaser? Another reason for boundary struggles is the strong sense of guilt and the desire to please everyone. If you are a people pleaser, you often prioritize others' needs above your own, and you neglect your own well-being in the process. You fear disappointing or displeasing others, even if it means sacrificing your own happiness. Reason 3, lack of self-worth and validation. If you have low self-worth, you likely often struggle with setting boundaries. You feel unworthy of having your needs met or believe that your wants and desires are not important. You might seek external validation and find it difficult to assert yourself, leading to this cycle of boundary violations and diminished self-esteem. And I read an interesting article that stated, people lack boundaries because they have high levels of neediness, or in psych terms, codependence. People who are needy or codependent have a desperate need for love and affection from others. To receive this love and affection, they sacrifice their identity and remove their boundaries. And as someone who's not naturally good at establishing boundaries due to fear of confrontation, I first heard this and thought it sounded super harsh. Hearing that I was needy made my ego flare up, and I'm like, oh my God, I am not needy. I am extremely independent. But then, I got over myself, and I'm like, yeah, I do have this deep fear of abandonment. It's something that has taken me years to peel back and uncover and analyze in order to even begin to overcome it. If I have a fear of being abandoned or rejected, then of course I'm going to bend over backwards to make you feel comfortable so you don't leave me, even if I don't actually agree with what I'm agreeing to, because that fear feels so heavy. And honestly, this goes the other way too. You might have too strict of boundaries and you don't let anybody in, or you keep relationships superficial, or you rarely give second chances or grace. And it's driven by that same fear. If I don't let anybody in, then they can never leave me. If you're still unsure if you set poor boundaries, take a look at how you feel when other people set boundaries. Are you offended, sad, angry, aghast? Yeah, because people who don't have boundaries, they don't understand when other people do. And this is also a great tool to use when you start setting boundaries. And we're going to get there if you continue in this series of boundaries. If people get mad at your boundaries, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their own lack of boundaries. People who have strong boundaries, when you set one, they're like, oh yeah, cool, totally, I get it. So, wrapping up here, take some time, figure out where your fear of boundaries actually comes from. Where does fear come from? The only way to truly untrain old beliefs and habits is to get to the root. So, I have a mantra for you. Try this out, say it out loud daily. It's about setting boundaries, and here it is. I'm allowed to be okay, even if you are not okay. And if that feels weird, really spend some time with it. And that's all I got for you today. Thanks for sticking around. Be sure to subscribe if you want more content like this. Tell me what your biggest takeaway is in the comments. And if you want more on boundaries, check out my series. It's about to drop, so be sure to subscribe. And the whole podcast is actually streamed on all audio platforms, so the link is in the show notes there. And of course, I'm going to leave you with just one final thing. Expect good things always, and they will happen.